the
Also,
only
there's
one
black
who's
people in
never
Atlanta,
been to a
that's cool.
concert.
I
You've
also
never
really
been to a
haven't been to a
concert?
concert.
Really?
If you
never been
don't
to a
count
concert.
Midwest, if you don't count VGM Con, because it's like I've never explicitly gone to a place just to go to a concert. Like,
That's honestly, it's not that wild. For me,
It's also-
it
I
was
didn't-
like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I didn't really get into listening music of my own volition until I got into like late high school, early college.
Same.
Like it was just much more like, oh, I'm just gonna listen to whatever my mom and dad put on the radio, and like that's it. Like, because I was
Really?
just so in on video game shit, right? But like, no, I
Interesting.
because I didn't have friends who were into music like that either. So
Yeah,
it was
same.
like,
Dude, I literally listened to like the same like 60 rap songs like my entire life growing up until like 2015 when I
Yeah.
got Spotify for the first time, and then my fucking world opened up, and then I could listen to anything, and then I quickly like stopped listening to rap music pretty much altogether.
yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, don't like
That's
fuck with
crazy.
hip hop like that no more. Like I was gonna say,
I'm very particular, but here's the thing: is
Yeah.
that like I think what I've realized now is that I'm just very particular about every single genre. Like I don't really like stay in a genre too hard. I'm like I have like 2 or 3 or 4 people that I really like in a genre, and I'll like consume everything from them. But then like everything else kind of like
yeah.
bounces off of me a little bit.
Kind of like me
Yeah.
with Fleet Foxes, where it's like I don't normally listen to folk, but Fleet Foxes is just so damn good.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I don't know, like because for me, like it was the same where I never went to any concerts growing up, like zero, and then it never like it was so crazy. Like I never even had the concept that concerts existed, if that makes sense, and that I could go to them. Like I knew that like concerts like existed because you see the Grammys and people performing the Grammys, but you don't think you can go to that.
Yeah.
Like I can't go and see someone live. That's like it was never a thing ever in my head.
for me growing up too, it was like a like a allowance cost sort of thing where it's like it's like I could either like save up my money to go to a concert, or I could save up my money for a video game that I could get like way much more bang for my buck out of, right?
Damn, this guy got a fucking allowance. That's crazy. I didn't have any
It
of that
wasn't
shit.
much.
But,
It was like off doing chores and shit, but like
Yeah.
it wasn't like anything insane.
yeah,
It was
the
like
usual like white people Midwest
couple
shit.
bucks.
You
Yeah.
know, you do the chores, you get like $2. Yippee.
yeah, like $2. Yeah, it's like nothing insane, but it's like
Yeah.
like it like
Child
it's like
labor costs.
exactly child labor. Yeah.
Yeah. For me though, like I basically like I didn't know they existed, and then I didn't know that I could go to them, and then eventually I got pretty into metal, and then one of my friends was like, "Hey, do you want to go see Motionless in White live?" And I'm like, "Wait, sure. I've never been to a concert. Sure, I'm down." And I still remember this concert to this day. I remember walking up to the venue. I remember being in the venue. It's one of the few things that I remember like almost clear as day in my mind. And I remember going ape shit. And he was like, I remember at one point, it was like in the middle of concert, he was just like, dude, you're kind of going crazy. Like everyone's kind of like looking at you. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Cause like Motionless in White was my favorite band at that point, because that was like right before they released Graveyard Shift. And so if any of you like Motionless in White, you're going to know that that's their last really good album that they launched. Because Creatures, 10 out of 10 album, Infamous, really good album, Reincarnate, really good album. So they had like just a really good discography at the time. And so I went absolutely insane. And then after that, I had my whole being unlocked, and I'm like, I like going to concerts. And then I spammed them like all 2018, 2019. That was like the thing that I did. Like that's where all my money went. I just went and saw everyone, everything. And I don't know. I think concerts are so cool, which is like, I don't know. Cause part of me is like, it's kind of crazy that neither of you have gone to a concert, but also for so long in my life, I was like, I can't go to it. Like, I didn't know it existed, And so
the other thing is if you wanted to go to a concert, you had to go into the city. And like, that was really far away from me growing up. So like, that was
it
just
3 hours
like,
far or
not like 3 hours far, but like, because it's not.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Because the other thing is my dad worked so fucking much, and he was like, like he would have been the person I went to concerts with, and he like, especially when I was in like middle school, he was just like so fucking busy that he'd like just come home and just go like be done.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I've come to appreciate like, especially when we were at VGM Con, like just like walk. What happened? I didn't even recognize. Like,
What?
I was just gonna say that. Oh, I know why Cole hasn't gone to any concerts because none of the Beatles fucking tour. All the people he likes are dead.
Well, that's what I was. No, this is what I was. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say everybody I listen to is dead or they're so old that they don't tour anymore. So I literally do not care. And it's even more criminal because I live like 10 minutes away from a concert like hall, like venue place. Like I can sometimes, if they're very loud, I can hear it.
That's crazy.
I don't know who they are, but yeah. So I literally could, well, I mean, it'd be kind of a long walk, but I could walk and go see a concert, and I just haven't because I really just don't care who is over there.
Damn.
At all. Yep.
Are you gonna go see King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard?
Unfortunate.
It could probably be really fun
maybe
live.
I guess
They
I feel like I don't really know their
live.
discography that well in order to.
Bro, it doesn't
fully
matter. You
enjoy
can
a
just have fun at a
like
concert.
this.
I literally just went to Poppy. I only know one album. She played so many songs I'd never heard before.
I guess, but I'd want to go to a concert to hear like. Well, that's the other thing too, is that there's some bands that I feel like it would just suck live. Like I would just like I don't know.
Speak on that.
Like I would rather just listen to like studio mixes and stuff like that. Like I'm a big prog rock guy.
You've never been to a
like,
concert.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hate listening to live albums. What really pissed me off.
Sorry, I just have to say, I have to interrupt you really quickly.
That's
live
fine.
albums and live music are completely two separate
Yes.
things, and it sounds nothing alike. You can never capture what it's like to be in a live performance, just like in general. And that's mainly due to the actual soundscape and the actual sound system, because when you're on there, the bass is hitting you in your fucking chest and you feel the room and you feel everyone, and there's a lot more sounds going on. And even though you can technically hear the crowd and you can technically hear the bass, like it's not like hitting you.
It's also mixed for that event space as opposed to being mixed for a live album recording.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it's meant to be a different experience. Right.
Yeah.
So
I will fight you on that. But go ahead with your point. that just like tilted me. Because I hate when people say that. I'm not interested in going to see live music because live albums suck. And I'm like, yeah, it's because they're live albums. They're just like recorded. Of course, it's not as good as the studio thing.
Spread the gospel a little bit and let us know.
Doing right now. What do you mean?
Well, good. And I'm talking to the people watching who got like a bigger reach. You know, like a. You know, like
you said I don't got that
spread
reach?
The web of info.
I don't got that reach around.
I don't know.
Whoa.
What's your wingspan, man?
You might as well just be saying, I don't want to have sex. I'd rather watch porn. Like,
I mean, it's more convenient. I don't have to go anywhere.
Oh my god.
It's right there.
Holy shit.
I think this is the hardest I've ever heard him laugh on this podcast.
I was not ready for that.
I was not ready for that at all, bro. Oh my god.
He's like, Cosmic has been like not talking this whole like album or like concert conversation. And then,
well, that's because he knows that I'm spitting right now, and he's like, yeah, because I know that he's been to a concert, and I know that he gets it. But anyway, you can continue with what you're saying, Cole.
But the other thing about a concert is, listen, because I've gone to some conventions and I've met like celebrities and stuff, and after I've done that, I'm like, that's it. Like, I just kind of just said hi. Like, I wish I had like a full conversation, but like if I go to a concert, I feel like I'm just gonna listen to the song I've already heard, or a song that I'll just be like, okay, and then I'll be like, I could have just done this at home. Like, nothing really changed. But that's just, but I don't know. I've never been to a concert.
Here's the thing, though, is that you're
everything
not
I'm saying is
screaming and you're
bullshit.
not dancing at home, and you're not like jumping up and down to the shit.
I don't know.
Like,
You
you're
might
not
be wrong on
completely
that.
I do
free
that
at
when I'm home alone.
Okay.
I only
don't
sing
think you
when
do.
like I only dealt when like no one is near me. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that it kind of gives you the key to do that and to be free. Like, mainly
Because no
going
one
to
can hear how
do that in
bad
the
you
car
are
all the time.
when you're at a concert.
and no one cares because everyone else is also screaming and they're like listening, and it's just like it's just a good time. I just think that you should find a band that you like somewhat and just go see them live. Because some people just don't like concerts. Like my sister doesn't like concerts because it's just too loud and it like overstimulates her or whatever.
That's an okay reason.
And
right?
like that's cool. Also, just want to say, if you go to a concert, wear earplugs, please.
Yes.
Don't be that guy.
Unless it's like jazz, but like even then, it's like you should still probably.
I literally have earplugs on my keys. I literally carry them with me everywhere I go.
Oh wow.
Please use earplugs
That's kinda smart.
if you go to see a concert.
Save your hearing.
It's really
Yeah, I
good.
would have never thought about that at all.
Yeah, you can't get your hearing back. So,
Dude, I cannot name a band off the top of my head.
you could go see
that I would wanna
Alex
go see live.
Alejandro, blah, 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 whoever the fuck that guy you sent me. The Blue album
Okay,
that was like
when
pretty
that
decent.
guy comes to Michigan, which will be like
He does sound foreign.
3 years,
So,
I don't know.
what else did you send me? I already forgot.
That'll be the one thing, and that's
Dude,
it.
I need.
Dude, I
Wolfpack to come
think you would
play
like King
Indianapolis.
Gizzard live. Hold on. I wonder if they're touring right now.
Dude, I watched a video of them doing something live. I don't remember, and I stopped watching like 3 minutes in, and I was like, I don't care anymore.
I think the other thing for me is if I go to concert, I'd want to go with one of my family.
Bonnaroo.
Damn.
Oh boy, Bonnaroo, Michigan. I've heard of that place before.
Like,
no,
my
it's
thing is,
not
I would
just
want to
crazy.
like the music that I would want to go see live potentially is like I would want to go see stuff with like family or friends, right? And for one, I don't have friends here, right? Like in person, especially because
I
like
don't have friends.
yeah, that is also true. Yeah, no, I have enemies on this podcast anyway. But like also like if I might go with my dad or my brother, and like they have very different music tastes than I do, so it's like. Because like I would not want to go to a concert by myself. I want to go like with people, and that's kind of where my issue is.
Yeah, same.
It feels a lot more like a social thing. It can be a lot more of a social thing. It doesn't have to be, but like
At least for my first concert, I'd want to go with somebody because otherwise I'd have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Okay, that's.
I would
give you.
I would have no
that.
idea.
Although I will say I definitely.
It's
have
like going to the gym. It's like the first time I went to the gym, I wanted to go with somebody so I knew what was going on, and now I feel more comfortable going to the gym.
like
by
the
myself.
etiquette, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to just fly up
So-
to Michigan and I'll just take you to a concert. How about that?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking at.
I will
there's
say,
nothing.
yeah,
nothing.
they're not coming. I think the closest is MD. I don't know where MD is. I don't know what that means.
Maryland.
Oh, that's not close at all.
Yep.
But this is where I'm going to lose
Jesus.
people, though. I actually prefer going to concerts alone. I think.
So
I've gone to.
I kind of feel the same way, to be honest. It's one of those things where like the amount of people that I've gone to concerts with over the years has kind of like shrunk in terms of like the size, because it used to be like a big affair, right, for like the family and I to go, or myself and some friends to go, or like family friends to go. And eventually like it just kind of whittled down to like me going with one other person or maybe one or two other people. And then there was a point where like that person wasn't really in my life actively anymore. We were like friends and all, but I just wasn't around them. And like when I went to go and see Julian Baker, I was just kind of like, I'm just going to go by myself. That's it, you know? And when like I look at, what is it? I think Between the Buried and Me is
good band.
They're touring right now. I believe it's Between the Buried and Me. It's either them or Polyphia. I forget which one. But like my friend of like 20 years might be going to that, so I'll probably go with him. But other than that, like most of the time when I look at concerts, I'm usually looking like, do I feel like going to this by myself? Because that's probably who I'm going to have to sell on this, is just myself. Because like I think Soft Cult is maybe coming to Philadelphia in like June or something. And I hate navigating Philly, but it's also like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I just try and rope Kios and his wife into seeing Soft Cult in Philly, which I'm sure there's harder things on planet Earth than getting Kios to go to a
concert,
a concert for a band called Soft Cult, you know. But it's like, I don't know, man. I think when I go to a concert, like even when I'm with a bunch of other people, like I'm really not tuned into many other people other than like how I'm kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this is kind of the disconnect really, is that like for Cole probably at least, is that especially if you're seeing something like a song that means a lot to you, you know, or a song that you really love, like hearing it in person is distinctly quite different than hearing it on the studio version. It might be less clean than the studio version, you know, but I mean, unironically, the sex metaphor is kind of apt here because it is quite different from like thinking about it or like leading up to having sex, rather than like, you know, experiencing that with somebody that you are like, that you care about. What's up? I know you're all virgins. What's your question?
A different thing. Like whenever you're talking about like hearing like a song that like means a lot to you or whatever, like it's more of akin to like, imagine you're in like a torrential like downpour like in your car, right? And it's just like,
that's true, yeah.
And then you go into a tunnel and then it's just silence, right? And it's just like, and that like that feeling, that like relief, that peace. That's what it's like hearing one of your favorite. It's also fentanyl. Yes,
I was going to say, isn't this the fucking fentanyl metaphor?
I am stealing this from the fentanyl metaphor, but I was driving in a torrential downpour on the back from Poppy, and I was like, dude, this like feeling is like how I felt when I was listening to certain songs. Anyway, but like that's like how it feels though, where like everything just kind of goes away, and it's just you in the song, even though there's a bunch of people making a bunch of noise, whatever. You don't hear any of that, and it's just you and the artist on stage.
And also just like the between song transitions as well, or like kind of that like bottom of the valley when you're like, there's kind of that anticipation of what's going to come next. Like, that also is kind of its own like thing that you don't get, right? Because like, I think the one concert I'm kind of using as my frame of reference was at a previous Midwest Speedfest, VGM Con. It was Carlos Eni, aka Insane in the Rain, who's like done a ton of shit with like jazz covers and remixes of like video game music. And so like he did like a mix of like video game covers and some of his own original shit on like tenor sax and Iwi, and just kind of like that anticipation of like what he was going to play next and kind of like where the vibe was going was like super sick. He finished on Bramble Blast, which is like my favorite cover of his.
Fire.
And and it was like not originally part of the set list, but because like they had gotten in there early and they were like ahead on schedule, he's like, all right, we'll throw in Bramble Blast there at the end. And like, the guy, because there's that one like bass riff, if you've heard that song from it's from Smash Bros. Brawl. There's like this one bass riff that's like pretty like iconic for it, and the guy who was playing bass for that group was doing it on like a fretless bass, and it just sounded like fucking perfect. Yeah. It was just like, anywho, because it's like that recording is, go ahead.
Yeah, I think another point to Yes and Cosmic kind of to add, I think another, like the biggest reason for me why I like going to see concerts alone over someone else is the fact that whoever I'm going with, it is almost for certain that they do not like the artist as much as me. Like almost certainly. Like there's a couple times where like it's been kind of reversed and like I'm the one that doesn't really like the artist, because I used to have a concert buddy that I went to shows with before he moved away. But like I remember last year I went to see Architects for the first time with my buddy Johnny, and he doesn't really like he's not super into Architects, but he's not super out of it. But he's like, you know, it's a UK band, like I'll go see Architects, fuck it. And you know, we're like best friends and we have a lot of fun. But also it was just kind of this thing where I'm like, he was like next to me and it was just like blah 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 blah. I just like being alone, and I also like the aspect of no one in this building knows who I am. I can do literally whatever I want, right? Yeah. And I can
the other
just
thing
like
is you're not entertaining, like you're just experiencing the music. Like you don't have to worry about the social dynamic of whoever you brought with you or whoever you're with.
I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to do whatever. I can just be there, and then I can just like do whatever I want and just like go crazy, and there's no like perception. And like for me, it's very much like I finally get to just like release and just like be. I can just be one with the music and just have a great time. And I think also for me, because like music is probably the most important thing in my life, I would argue, besides like obviously like my fucking mom or like etc. Like, you know, you can list the things above it, but like in terms of like the regular stuff in the life, like music is probably at the top of my list. And so it's a very like, I'm very like attached to it, and it's like kind of like my one thing that I have. Like I like, you know, I'm not like this is gonna kind of sound funny, but like I don't really partake in many vices. Like I'm pretty like straight laced. Like I go like, you know what I mean? I'm not like, you know, I'm not like blazing up or like, you know, I don't like drink and go to parties and have fun and like let loose or whatever. So like the time that I get to let loose as like a sober person is at a concert. And that's like kind of funny to think about, because most people, they go to concerts and they get fucking wasted. As you should. It might be fun, but like for me, that's like the one time where I'm like, all right, I can cut loose and I can just be like, let's just have some fun. And you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like no one's gonna be like, what are you doing? Like, why are you jumping to the song? Like, why are you being so loud? No one's going to do that. You know what I mean? Like the most that you'll get is if you're tall, there's going to be a girl behind you that'll be like, can you like move? And then you're like, dude, there's a big fucking building. You move, nigga. Like, why are you anyway, that's like the only thing that you're going to get. I'm like, there's a whole room. Just move to the left or right.
And I didn't realize we were at the stage of calling white girls the N-word. I mean, that's crazy.
Hey, I'm just saying sometimes. Anyway, but yeah, TLDR, I just that's my reasoning, because it's just like, I just like it. It's like, it's also just kind of like my thing. It's kind of evolved to this point where it's like my thing. And I've had a concert buddy at some point. I've gone to many concerts with other people, but when I really, really like a person, and even when I don't like even like Poppy, go and see her, it was definitely better because I did not know anyone there, and I did not, you know, and I could just like do it. And that's why, like, when I see Architects, I'm more excited to see Architects this summer because I'm going alone and I'm just going to be able to just like, and I guarantee it's going to be better than the last one. Because the last one was like solid, but I wasn't like, oh my God, what a fucking concert. You know, like I walked out of churches and I was like, holy shit, what a fucking concert. And that was me ISO'd by myself. So
yeah, that's another like I kind of get what you're saying. Because I've kind of had this thing with my brother, because like music for you is probably like gaming for me in a lot of ways. And my brother is very much someone who wants to like share in whatever game we're playing, especially if we're playing something at the same time. But I'm very much not like that. I very much want to have my experience with the thing, and like it's my own experience that I get to keep, and I don't have to fucking answer to anyone else how I feel about it or what it was like. Right. It's also why I get like, I feel that. I really get up about that, about spoilers, especially plot spoilers, for that reason, is because like I like to go in by myself with no expectations. Right. So it's like, you know, I don't know if you get the same way if like someone posts like what a set list is at a given concert before you get there.
I don't care about that, but I was actually going to you actually reminded me of something. So like recently me and Cole like traded our like top 10 albums, right? And we like, I listened to all of his because I'm a sicko and I just have a very high tolerance. And he's been churning through mine slowly at his own pace because he has a fucking life and he was not on a plane for 5 hours. So, but I basically the TLDR is that he listened to Evanescence, The Open Door, which is probably top 2 albums for me. It's probably my second favorite album of all time. And it's funny because he said to me, he's like, oh yeah, I really like this album. Like, you know, I like it for like working out or whatever. And I can't really give anything back to him. Like, I'm just like, cool. Like, even though like I love the album, it's kind of like what you were saying, Jax, where I'm just like, I don't know how to like open and be like, yeah, that's cool. But like also the other half of it is that it was kind of cool because Cole's like, yeah, this is a cool album to work out to. And I'm like, I have never, ever viewed that album as let me work out to this. It was just such a complete, and I think it's a cool perspective. Like, it's fine that he thinks that way, but it's just funny because like, I felt like I couldn't match his energy, even though it's something that I super, super duper like. But I felt like in the conversations that we've had about it, like I couldn't like match his excitement for like him discovering the album for the first time. And it's kind of weird because like it's my second favorite album all time. Like I will tell everyone that I fucking love that album, But as soon as I'm like talking about it with someone that also likes it, it's kind of weird in a way. I don't know. I just like, I don't know how to talk about it or like relate in that aspect. Cause I don't know.
Cause well, for music, especially, like I kind of understand what you're saying because like I think in English, but I don't necessarily think in sentences per se. I kind of like think in like mapping different ideas together.
I was so like confused where you're going. I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's like you're asking me to put words to like a feeling or like an experience that like maybe English isn't the best way to like describe, right? And like music's very like kind of a similar thing where, you know, people call music a universal language, but it's like, you know, sometimes translating the way that a piece of art made you feel into words, especially just in like casual conversation, is like really awkward and sometimes vulnerable in a way that I'm not always comfortable sharing with people.
I also think that like I can never describe like the way I feel about an album like ever. I think part of that is due to me. I'm just not good at words in English, right? I think that's part of it. But also like just to your point, I've always said this and you all have probably heard me, but I think like music is a very primal like thing for me where I'm just like, you either like
very
it,
deep in the human experience.
Yeah. Like it's like in your fucking gut. Like if you like something or you dislike something, and like, it's kind of like, it's like the basis why I don't really like criticizing things or like reviewing things, like in terms of like art, like film critics, I think are fucking stupid. For example, which is another conversation. But like the reason that I think that is because I think that like, how am I ever going to describe like the way that Now Now's Threads albums makes me feel to like someone else to like match that and like give them what it's not possible because it's just such a primal like feeling for me. Like you can't feel that unless you're in me. Ayo. So sorry. I saw the opportunity. I had to go for it.
Damn.
But, like, I just, like,
I didn't know you were built like that, dude. That's crazy. You know, I mean, I respect it.
I think part of that though is just like a deficiency, right? But like, because I'm not like Cosmic. I'm not very good with my words. I'm not eloquent. I can't just like speak into like what I'm feeling. It's just not like I can't describe things like that. And it's just never been my skill. But like, I know what I feel when I'm like, you know, listen to the song, and that's why like. I never really have fucked with like music reviews or anything because it's just like I just feel it, and I think that's why it's also hard for me to talk to someone about like music in depthly. Like I can be like, yeah, I like this. Oh, you like it too? Cool. And that's kind of where I want to leave it. I'm like, shake hands.
Or like maybe it becomes a further conversation where it's like, oh, do you have you heard this? Do you fuck with it? Do you not? Right?
Yeah, like, or like cool. It's like and like kind of surface level of like, oh, I like the way the vocals did this, or like blah 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 blah. But like as soon as you start going like any deeper than like minor specifics, that's where I'm kind of like, I feel like you kind of lose me in that, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if that speaks to anything deeper with me or not.
The metaphor, yeah. But like to kind of put this on a bow, like the metaphor, like the example I like to use is if I for those, I know there are some people who like have the thing or whatever where they can't make a mental picture in their head, right? Which is Nastani. But for those who can, like, right. And Matt, like, if I asked you to like picture an apple in your head, some of y'all are gonna like think of like the red apple. Right, but some people are gonna default to like the Granny Smith apple, right? And so if we can't like, or like a tree, for example, some people think of a pine tree, some people think of those freaking like acorn generating. It's maple trees, right? Am I no?
Well, doesn't matter. Keep going.
Right, but the tree, like either way, like if we like say the word tree at each other in a different mental image or like experience thinking about something, like we can't even agree on the most basic of things. Like, how do we communicate the ideas of like something more abstract, like pain, right? Or like grief? Like, it's different. So it's like you're trying to like talk at me and explain how this thing made you feel, but like maybe we don't even feel about things the same way, right? Or we experience different flavors of the same emotion, but you can't necessarily talk about that through words, right? So it's like, it can be frustrating when someone is trying to talk at you with words for something that's a little more intangible. So, but nobody asked, right? That's kind of like our whole thing. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to at least, if the other person is interested, to make an attempt at understanding like or describing your perspective, because I think that there is value in understanding how people interface with what they're like consuming. I guess is the word here.
That can be a separate conversation though. Like that's the other thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how much do you want to invest in a person to be able to have that conversation? Because it's a conversation that takes a bit. And it's not. It can't be an unfun. Like it can be a fun conversation too. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's one of those things you have to read the vibes with someone else. It's like, are they just making small talk, or do they actually want to like get to know you on a deeper level? So it's like,